Hi, friends. Host Eric here, talking with famous people, and a little bit frustrated, understandably. A little bit frustrated. I faced today again one of the very weakest and wrongest attacks that I face. And I face this attack all the time. On any given day, I'm likely to hear from at least one person, "You're obsessed with C.S. Joseph." I am not obsessed with C.S. Joseph. Couldn't care less about the guy. "You're obsessed with Bill Walton." I talked about Bill Walton today. Nope, not obsessed with Bill Walton. "You're obsessed with Jordan Peterson." They made some videos on Jordan Peterson. Nope, not obsessed with Jordan Peterson. "You're obsessed with cognitive functions." Maybe a little bit, I guess. Not really. "You're obsessed with Frank James. You've made like 6 videos on him." Nope, not obsessed with Frank James. Now, there's 2 categories of people that I talk about. There are people that I talk about who are public figures, and there are people that I talk about from my life. Both of them are absolutely fair game. If people interact with me in my life, they have to know that I might talk about my interactions with them. That's just how it is. It's true for anybody. For me, I talk about them on camera, so people freak out. But it's not any different than talking about it with your friends or spreading, whatever. The thing is, I make a lot of videos, a shit ton of videos, and there are some people who reappear multiple times in those videos. I talk about Taylor pretty often. I use him as an example. He's a person from my life. He's also on YouTube, but he's a person from my life. I use him as an example because he is a textbook ESTP, and he's a great example. Because I'm an SI user, I use personal examples, personal experience, to make points. It's what I do. Does that mean I'm obsessed with Taylor? Nope. Not obsessed with Taylor. I use him as an example for things. Now, this morning I made a video about Frank James. You might think I heard a critique that I was obsessed with Frank James. No, that would be false. I'm not obsessed with Frank James. But that's not what the critique I heard was. The crazy critique I heard was that I was obsessed with Becky. I'm not obsessed with Becky. She's the only textbook EHP female I can think of, frankly, that just pops into mind, She is part of my life history. She gets talked about. She's a character that I have known in my life. I talk about Kimberly. I'm not obsessed with Kimberly. It's not a fault of mine that I talk about my previous relationship partner. I use her as examples to explain things. I'm not obsessed with bacon. I talk to I Found Bacon a lot. I talk to Eileen a lot. I talk to Eileen and Winston's mom a lot. I talk about Eileen and Winston's mom and bacon a lot. I talk about Elizabeth Melbourne. Rachel and I have conversations about all these people here. Okay? All of this stuff. So I talk about you. I talk about you with Rachel. We have conversations. That was interesting what Mia said today, and Mia, obviously we like the community. Now, the thing about Becky is I don't talk about her very often, but she does come up because she's a good example of female HP. She's also, not that long ago, posted in my closed group, where is everybody? Come to the brawl room. I'm holding court, which is fine. I don't have any problem with that even at all. Becky is welcome to do her thing and be a part of the community. And not all parts of the community are welcoming to me, and that's fine too. But do not accuse me of being obsessed with somebody just because I talk about them in a video. It's so fucking annoying. There's one person you can fairly accuse me of being obsessed with, and that is Rachel LaPalosa. For every one time I've mentioned Becky's name in the last 3 months, I've mentioned Rachel's name 10,000 times. So why would anybody conclude that I was obsessed with Becky? It's insane. Well, why are you protesting so much, Eric, if you're not obsessed with Becky? It's not just Becky. I am not obsessed with any of the people I talk about. I talk about a lot of people. Sometimes I talk about the same person over and over again. Like Bill Walton is going to come up over and over again. I also talk about Toyota Yaris's a lot lately. I'm not obsessed with Toyota Yaris's. I talk about cheese a lot. I'm not actually obsessed with cheese at all. I make jokes about being obsessed about Florida's natural grapefruit juice. The only reason I find it's taken such a big place in my life is because of the response of people to those jokes. You know, Becky knows all this too. She well understands how my process works. When I made that video this morning, I made it because I was sitting here. I saw a Frank James video in my suggested videos because YouTube just wants to get its nose right up in under his chode. I tell you, YouTube it just absolutely adores Frank James. So anyway, I thought, you know, obviously Frank James is an INFJ, and so he should be with an ENTP because I'm an ENTP and I'm with an INFJ, and it's great, you know. So I thought I'd make that video. Impulsively, I just made a live stream about that. Now, who am I naturally going to talk about in that video? Becky. Why? Because she is the most textbook ENTP female I can think of. There's this girl, Chris, from Germany, who's ENTP female, but I never really talked to her. I only talked to her once in person, and, you know, it's like I'm obviously more familiar with Becky. Good night. You know, that normally is something you say, El Lobo Feroz, when you're going to bed. Good night. If you're saying like good evening, that means like hello, good evening. Good night usually is I'm going to bed. Good night. Jeebus, I am obsessed with you. Okay, I can't stop talking about you. I'm obviously obsessed with Jeebus. Everybody knows that. Yeah, exactly. Well, Winston's mom said, normally good night is followed by sleep well, see you in the morning. Eileen, I talked about you in that video some. Do you think I'm obsessed with you? No, I'm not obsessed with Eileen. Is she a part of my life? Yes, she is. Why is she a part of my life? Because she's here in these live streams a lot, and I talk to her a lot. And, you know, she says nihilistic things, and I think about them later. So everybody who's here and is chatting to me, I think about the things they say later. They become part of my ontology, as presumably the things I say become part of theirs. I haven't had Becky become part of my ontology for a long ass time. And so as a consequence, she's not in my thoughts very much. Certainly, I'm not obsessed with her. You know, it's like, for God's sake, woman, I didn't even do anything or say anything bad about you in that video. Is she making a fuss someplace or what? She making a fuss in the Facebook group right now? I don't even know. I'm not even aware. I just got a phone call, a screaming phone call. I was like, I texted her back. I'm like, look, if you want to have a conversation with me, call and have a conversation with me, but you're not going to treat me like this or talk to me as though you control the frame. It's just not going to happen. We talk as equals, not as you as the boss and me as a subordinate. It's just not going to fucking happen. You know? Well, the thing is, I was not even talking any shit about her at all, you know? I am obviously obsessed with everything and nothing. Right. That's what it means to be an ENTP, really. Hi, baby cakes. Hello, my special lady. This is the woman that's the exception to this. I am obsessed with one person I talk about. I talk about her more than anybody else. Her name's Rachel Lapalosa. She's an extraordinarily special lady. If you check the documentation of the Library of Congress, you'll see her right at the top of the list of most special ladies of all time. And understandably, I'm a little obsessed with her. Do I put her a little bit on a pedestal? Yeah, I do. Why? Because that's where she belongs. Well, I'm not really defending myself. I'm saying this is not just a one-time critique by Becky. It's a critique I've heard from many people many times. You know, it's like Cloud comes in here and tries to throw around that I'm obsessed with C.S. Joseph. I am not obsessed with C.S. Joseph at all. I don't watch his shit. I don't keep track of him at all. I'm not remotely stalking him. If you pay any attention to me at all, it is pretty fucking clear how egocentric I am. I'm really not paying attention to much of anybody but myself and Rachel. You know, when am I having all this time to be stalking other people when I'm constantly live streaming my own live streams about a huge variety of topics? Almost all of them having nothing to do with Becky. Yeah, ESP just talks so fucking much, they're bound to mention people again and again because we're drawing from our SI too. I use people and examples from my past as examples for things. You know, it's just how it is. They call Alabama the Crimson Tide. They call me piece of poo, piece of poo. Remember Dostoevsky, it is about you. Checkmate. Well, I'm still a human being, El Lobo for Rose, and I still have my own indignations. I'm not Jesus, right? So don't burden me with being him. I mean, I in the text exchange that followed this ridiculous phone call I had, I accused her of projecting, but I don't really think so. I think she's just never learned to be a good loser, basically. Sometimes you got to be a good loser. I am not obsessed with C.S. Joseph. God, you can't even spell your correctly. I'm obsessed with your misspelling of your. Can you just do it properly, please? Brett King, God TV Radio International. It's kind of a long name, too. If you're going to be God TV Radio International, first of all, why are you God TV Radio? Why don't you just pick a medium, TV or radio? Okay? Gosh, Brett King. You're really not pleasing me with your naming itself. You're getting my sassy finger. That's right. Here it is. Sassing you. I'm sassing you. You like that? I'm sassing you, Brett King, God TV Radio International. But Brett King, God TV Radio International, even though I've said your name a few times, I am not actually obsessed with you, Brett King, God TV Radio International. Granted, I probably won't make a video about you. I made a video about Bill Walton this morning. I'm not obsessed with Bill Walton. I made multiple videos about, what's he call himself? Chad Crandall from formerly MBTV. I was never obsessed with him either. Okay, when you have thousands and thousands of videos on lots and lots of different topics, it's only meaningful to say you're obsessed with somebody if they comprise a majority of the topic that you cover. No person does for me. So it's not correct. You are wrong. If I attacks like that, which are just based on nothing and just like, you're man, my feelings are hurt, makes me want to slap somebody. It's like, get your FI out of my business. Yeah, exactly. I'm not actually going to slap anybody, but I will bust out the sassy finger again. You need a new name and pick? Why don't you call yourself Wonderpuss and get a picture of some like really porny looking girl going ee like that, you know? Thanks, El Lobo for Rose, and I appreciate your apostrophe RE. You're not getting my sassy finger, El Lobo for Rose. You're getting my sassless finger. That's this one. That's the sassless finger. You get that one, El Lobo for Rose. No sass. No finger sass for you. C.S. Joseph is also live streaming. Oh, go tell him I'm obsessed with him. Tell him, Host Eric's obsessed with you, C.S. Joseph. He's talking about you right now. I'm not even talking about C.S. Joseph right now. I'm talking about people accusing me of being obsessed with C.S. Joseph, which is ridiculous. It's what they call recalculus. All right, here we go. C.S. Joseph typed Frank James wrong. Wrong. Of course, I will say C.S. Joseph agreed with Sergeant Host Eric, but not with me. He does lack sass. He lacks sass, but he's got a hot ass. Lacking sass, but hot in your ass. I'm obsessed with him, apparently, old Maiden Grot. I'm obsessed with him. That's what everybody tells me, anyway. Lamau recalculus, indeed. Thanks, Rachel, but you know, look, even I wouldn't be offended if you said you thought C.S. Joseph had a hotter ass than me. Okay? Because nobody can dispute that C.S. Joseph's got a hot ass. Oh, yeah. One cheek, two cheek, hot cheek, two cheek, one cheek, two cheek. Come on, C.S. Bring those cheeks up over here. Twerking, when C.S. Joseph twerks on you, it's just like heaven. Okay, that's not a good thing. To the extent that he is success about how to socially engineer INFJs, that's not a good thing. You shouldn't want to manipulate people without their consent and awareness, right? So, he's not done a very good job of socially engineering me as an ENTP. I'm sure he would like to have some impact on my behavior, but I don't think he is an ENFP. I think he's an ESTJ. I'm gonna twerk, 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 twerk all up on C.S. Joseph. I'm gonna Miley Cyrus all up on his junk. I'm obsessed with Becky. The only personality model better than Big Five C.S. Joseph. She has objective logic. Evolution logic sound. All right, Bacon. You get it. You get some sassy finger a little bit. Yes, Joseph typed me as an ESTP. Here I am. Yeah, Rich doesn't want to be socially engineered. Does he want to be socially engineered? Can he just talk to people directly and actually be upfront and upstanding? You have to be all like Machiavellian about shit. It's not good. It's wicked. So whether he's correct or not on the TE of that, he needs to be checked on that. That's bullshit. You don't hear me throwing magma on poo and calling it a crispy salad, right? I think that's fair. Ooh, Anget's here. I know an EHP for you. Her name's Becky, and she loves it when I talk about her. CS is BS, that much for sure. Stuff included, and that's the tour. Okay, so look, I'm back. I'm better than ever. I'm on a little bit of Adderall. But I only took 2 pills today when I got it. I just took 2 of them. Made me feel kind of gacky because, it's been a while since I've been on them. But who else am I obsessed with? Let me think. I'm a little bit obsessed with Tom Lear. He's an interesting character. Yep, that's the old speederoo, elbow froze, the old speed it up, get him going, dollar gas, give it gas, time to go, it's going fast. We're going to addy up, and then we're going to gladdy up, because nothing makes you gladder than addy. You're a sucker for FE. Why is that? Are you an INTP? Because you're force slot, baby. Force slot interface. Interface in the force slot. Hi, Space Cat. Thank you for joining us from space. I know it makes it more difficult to join the live stream in space, but I'm glad you got good Wi-Fi. What's going on here? What's going on here? Did one of you guys sabotage my lighter when I wasn't looking? I'm obsessed with that. You're a 48-year-old man. When I get any sort of comment or critique that begins with, you're a 48-year-old man, I know that the person who's saying that needs very badly to suck it. That doesn't make any fucking difference in any argument you're making unless you're arguing about whether I'm qualified for a senior citizen discount and negating. So what if I'm 48 years old? What does that have to do with anything at all? Has absolutely nothing to do with anything. You're 48 years old. You're obsessed with me. I'm not obsessed with shit, woman. Certainly not you. I will say this. I always was interested in Becky. I always thought she was an interesting person because I've never met anybody quite so much like me, right? I was never attracted to Becky. I made this clear from the outset that it would be, it always, even the notion of it felt very incestuous to me. I never pursued her at all. I never gave her any indication of hitting on her or anything. I am not obsessed with her remotely, but she is an interesting character from my life, and I am going to talk about her periodically. She's the one person in my life that I've met who I think is most like me. Another person I met who was a lot like me and who had the former title of most like me was this kid in Tennessee, I think, named what was that guy's name? I forget his name. But he's a lot like me. It'll come to me at some point here. I visited him. We made a video on the big trip. It's like, yeah, I mean, the incestuous thing for me it's like ENTP. I'm not saying 28 was too young for me or something. At 46 or whatever, 28 was not too young for me. I was willing to get on 28, but I just wasn't attracted to her at all because it was like myself, it was too much myself. It was redundancy. It was, it would have been incestuous in that sense. Which guy's on drugs? Max Clay? I like how you refer to yourself as this guy. What's the best system we've got? Yeah, I do remember Taylor saying that. He's retracted that in full since then. Cool Paul, also on drugs. Good for you. Max Clay and Cool Paul are announcing they're on drugs and referring to themselves as this guy. Taylor has fourth slot NI. He talked to Becky. She swayed him. He momentarily thought that. In retrospect, in short order, he was like, yeah, that was bullshit. I see that now. I mean, no sane human being thinks that. Nobody who was involved in anything that involved me and Becky thinks that. Kimberly would never have validated that. I never talked about Becky like, I liked her at all. She was actually helping us. The thing is, I've always been fair to Becky as well. I've always given her credit for the good ideas and good stuff she does. And, I never was trying to throw her under the bus, but she doesn't know how to be accountable for anything. And that's not my fault, Okay, Stan, I will stop obsessing over everyone. That makes you an INTP, L. Bo for Rose. That makes you an INTP. Meow, 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 meow. Yeah, not host Mark is somebody I visited before. He's hung out with me on multiple occasions in real life. He's an interesting guy. He's quite divisive. He's a little bit of a loose cannon. You know, if I wanted to try, if I felt like I was trying to control how the Raw room went, he'd be a nightmare. But I have washed my hands of that Raw room. And that's the thing. That's basically Becky's space. She's holding court in there, and that's fine. I don't object to it. But certainly when she's posting shit in my close group and hanging out and everything in my Raw room, then I'm periodically entitled to mention her in videos, for fucking Christ's sakes. You know, it's like, come on. You like loose cannons? Well, Mark's definitely a loose cannon. I'm pretty sure Mark's an ENTP, but he's, I think, a type 8 ENTP. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the thing Eric Moore has to offer that makes me a little bit obsessed with him. I'm not going to lie about this one. He does have a Yaris. And that's pretty juicy. How long have I played guitar? I started playing guitar when I was 21. I'm now 48, so I've been playing guitar for about 27 years. Off and on. You know, it's like there have been stretches of time for even years where I didn't pick it up or touch it. So, you know. But, yeah, it is a sexy car. It's got the sexiest of all names. It's the Yaris. The only word that rhymes with both penis and vagina. Wait a second, Eric. Which doesn't rhyme with either of those? Elizabeth B. Milburn is not host Mark single. I'm not sure, actually. I don't know. I haven't really talked to him in a little while. I mean, not like we're on the outs or anything. I just haven't gotten around to it. Had snappy commercials, the Yaris. It's good. It's a good way to sell cars. Better than having crappy commercials. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys, if you don't mind, would you object too terribly if I were to ask you, Winston Baum, can you explain to them what's going on here, please? It rhymes with mad among your mouths. There you go, little fishies. Eat some food. You like food? Yes, you do. You like to eat some food. You like food that you can chew. You like to chew some food. Eat your food. Chew it up. Chew your food like a nut. Is it empty? I thought I just refilled this thing. Elizabeth B. Milburn, non-host Mark is probably an ENTP. Pretty sure. But he might be an ESTP. Stan's an ENTP. Stan, I'd like to introduce you to a lady named Elizabeth B. Milburn. Okay? Elizabeth B. Milburn is an INFJ woman who's tired of being with the wrong man. And the wrong man are men who are not ENTPs. I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a while. I typed him out a long ass time ago. So I'm not really sure I still type him that way. Could be an ESTP. Could even be, in theory, an ESTJ, although I don't think so. He's too TI. He's got to be either an ESTP or an ENTP. So yeah, with the exception of Rachel La Pelosa, I am not obsessed with anybody that I talk about. I'm not obsessed with Trump. I'm not obsessed with Bernie Sanders, who I've talked about. I'm not obsessed with George Carlin, who I talked about, who I don't like. I'm not obsessed with the Dave Matthews Band, even though I think they're terrible, right? Yes, do I think they're terrible? Yes. Have I mentioned that on a few occasions? Yes. Am I obsessed with them? No. Am I obsessed with Steely Dan? I'm a little obsessed with Steely Dan right now. I'll admit that one. I'm a little obsessed with Steely Dan. They're tripping me out with their awesomeness, you know? I wonder and think and talk about a lot of different things. You know, it's almost impossible for an EHP to be obsessed with anything. Because I'm not obsessed with cheese. It's just my thing I say at the end. I'll be streaming again later, but I won't still be on because I've got to eat dinner with my dad, then I got to go to work for a couple hours. So I'll probably be live streaming sort of middle of the night tonight. I'll probably be up all night. I'm obsessed with paying attention. I'm obsessed with talking. I'm obsessed with live streaming. You could fairly say I'm obsessed with live streaming, you know? That's fair. Oh, right now I'm obsessed with I gotta poop. I'm gonna poop. No, you know what? I'm gonna end this live stream. I'm sorry it's a short one, but I gotta poop. Then I gotta take a bath. I gotta get ready for dinner. Yada yada. So I am obsessed with the word obsessed. I'm obsessed with Obsession, The Scent by Calvin Klein. Thanks, Rachel Appelos. I'm obsessed with you too. Hey, we don't use the word gay around here. We use the word gaff, okay? That's homophobic. Gay is homophobic. Gaff is not. Okay? Yeah, it's turtle head. It is turtle heading. Nosegay is fine, cool Paul. Nosegay is fine. I also enjoy a nosegay when walking through the gardens. So that's totally fine. I also don't like being niggardly when sharing snacks with my friends, and that's fine too. Also, occasionally, I'll note that there's a chink in the armor, and that's also okay. Niggardly. It means chintzy. The intonation of the word has nothing to do with any racial slur. The etymology of the word, I mean. Totally different etymologies. Anyways, so I'm Eric. Nope, I can't be racist, cool Paul, because I don't know if you've heard or not. I'm transracial. I'm fluidly transracial, which means I'm shifting continually from race to race. So I've been all the races. I'm the most disadvantaged, the most minority, and that makes me immune to being racist. So, piao, y piao. You can't be zero racist, cool Paul. You can't be. Race is a real thing.